Transformers, robots in disguise. Transformers, more than meets the eye. We're here to talk about Transformers 1, but a little theme music from the original 1984 theme from the original 1984 cartoon of Transformers. I'm Lion Runner with reviews and revisits, and I just want to get into this movie that I went to see this week. This is the fifth week that it's been out, and I finally got a chance to get in and go see it after the good reviews that came in, like many other people. The initial trailers didn't really project well for what the movie was all about, and it seemed the animation, at least on TV, looked like it was going to be kind of kids animation. Like this wasn't a serious movie. There wasn't much pre-hype for it. Like I didn't even know this movie was coming until I first saw a trailer a few weeks out, and there was really no promotion or hype or hubbub around the movie to build it up ahead of its and as it was in development, basically the far out teaser trailer and all those sorts of things, and with the lineup of actors they had in the movie, Chris Hemsworth and what is her name, not Charlize Theron, but Scarlett Johansson and many others, Lawrence Fishburne and some other big names who were in there. It's kind of surprising that they didn't really push this movie and really get those people out there talking about this film coming. But it turned out, as the reviews that started to come in when the movie did come out, that this was a really solid movie. It was a really good movie. It's a film that can both be enjoyed by children as well as adult audiences. And if you're an original Transformers fan like I am from the 80s, I was a little kid in the late 80s when those cartoons ran regularly. And it was really just great to see it, especially when you have in comparison Transformers, the movie that came out in 1986. I reviewed that one back, I think, on June of 2023 on my Instagram page, which is also reviews and revisits, reviews underscore and underscore revisits on Instagram. That movie was terrible. Absolute hot garbage. Just complete trash. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it in the past 35 years, they kill Optimus Prime at the very beginning of the movie in the first battle. You don't even want to see the rest of the movie after that. It wasn't like it was a build-up and the climax is Optimus Prime's death. They kill him to start the movie. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how he died, and the whole movie is just garbage, playing terrible rock music in there, like B-side rock music. It's just with the lyrics, not like just music playing in the background as a soundtrack, but the actual lyrics to these garage band rock songs. It just was a terrible piece of trash of a movie. Transformer 1 finally makes up for it. The animation actually does look really good on the screen. It's kind of a lighter, cartoonier animation versus kind of the realistic to life type of animation you might have seen with Miles Morales in that version of Spider-Man. So it is more on the cartoon side, but it does still look really good on the big screen, especially kind of the metallic look of some of the robotic machines. But more to the point, the best part about this movie is it's really faithful to the lore of Star Wars and to the sentiment of what Star Wars is all about and has always been about. So let's get into that aspect of it. While they change some of the details of previous Star Wars origins and lore, they keep the spirit of it, and they don't fundamentally change the lore. It's still about Omicron. It's still about the original planet that the Transformers are from, and they kind of just jiggle with a little bit the backstory of Optimus or Orion Pax, and they do keep that name. That name has been around. That has always been Optimus Prime's original name. They keep the name of Orion Pax. They keep Megatron's. I didn't remember Megatron's real name. It's like D17 or something like that. Bumblebee is like B27. But he becomes Megatron by acquiring a certain cog of one of the primes who was Mega something as well. Anyway, it's really well done at how it comes together. The story is very concise. It moves very quickly. There's some kind of the bad part of the movie is that it makes some weird jumps from A to D. It skips B and C. But then on the flip side of that, that keeps it a strong, concise movie, especially for an animated film. They don't try to be too cute by half. They don't overdo it. They don't make it a long, drawn out film, and you kind of just get to where you're going. So in a way, it's bad in one way because it doesn't give it the depth that it could have in some regards, or it's kind of unrealistic to just get from here to there. But it's better in a lot of ways because the movie just keeps moving and you're never bored. The movie is never slow. It just keeps going at a good, strong pace, and it's really enjoyable. You kind of see how the Transformers were on their planet Cybertron, and this movie gives a take on the whole backstory of that and why the Cybertron wars started. And it's a new take, but again, it sticks to the spirit and some of the origin story elements of Cybertron, of the Autobots versus the Decepticons. So it's still faithful to what you already know and doesn't detract from it. And it puts together a real good story of kind of, again, overcoming oppression, overcoming a tyranny. It's got like a little bit of a political backstory, but it's not trying to get you involved in the in-depth politics. It's right there on the surface where it's very accessible. And so I just really liked how they kind of came up with "We Were Once Brothers" type of story. If I can take from the Vladi Divas, Drauzin Petrovich 30 for 30 title, and it takes that kind of sentiment between Optimus and Orion Pax and D17, will later be Megatron. Only one part I didn't like about that is Megatron switches too easily. Like his turn to the dark side kind of happens without good reason. I think they would have done better to kind of show some inklings of a penchant for being kind of a unforgiving, uh, easy to anger, kind of already having something in his past that he was maybe holding on to that he was bitter about, but was trying to rise above it, but it's still there and it's lingering. So then when the betrayal that happens in this movie that I won't give away happens, it makes sense that he finally just totally gives in to anger and bitterness and wanting revenge. Before that, that's not in the movie. He's just a jovial, nice guy. He's saving Orion Pax constantly when he's getting into stuff. He's taking one for the team and smiling about it afterwards. He's really just a good, jovial guy. And then all of a sudden, he's pure evil. So that was one leap that just wasn't good. He didn't really have great development, but there still is a reason, or at least there is a reasoning why he becomes embittered. So it's not terrible. And I liked just how they kind of bring Bumblebee into it, and he doesn't have this Bumblebee name yet, uh, and how the kind of Orion Pax inspires the other Transformers who become the Autobots to rise to their greatest selves, and then how Megatron takes this kind of outpost of bandits who were kind of fighting against the status quo group, who were ruling in place of the Primes, this kind of gives the whole backstory of the Primes, the original Transformers who were initially created, and how they were betrayed and they're no longer there, and their mantra is stolen by a fake Prime who then kind of deceives the rest of the planet. And so the whole thing is really, I think, just a well done movie. And I would say if you want to support, you want to see movies that are done right, that stick to the lore, that stick to what film should be all about. We want to see those movies made. try to go see this one. It's probably the last week. This upcoming week is going to be the last week. It's probably in most theaters. It's down to one theater at my local 27 plex, the biggest one in my town. And this is probably it for the movie. So if you have any interest in seeing it and you want to support movies that respect the fans and respect the laws of the IP, then this is one to go see in theaters or at least pay for it on digital and allow it to earn revenue. So that signals to the studios, this is what we want to make. If movies are made like this and they make no money, then they'll just go back to the Michael Bay stuff again. And that's one of the surprise things. I was surprised to see in the closing credits that Michael Bay is a producer on this movie. Uh, I guess Josh Cooley directed it. So it wasn't a Michael Bay direction, but it's a Michael Bay production still. But thank goodness he wasn't the director. We actually got a real and solid Transformer movie for once. His first one was good, but after that, the rest of those, I didn't even bother with that. So then another producer that I was surprised to see on there was Steven Spielberg. And I'm like, what does he have to do with the Transformers IP? I mean, I don't know. It comes through Hasbro Entertainment, but it's a Paramount Films that is distributed. So maybe Steven Spielberg is contracted in with Paramount, and maybe they just got him to participate in it in some kind of way as an executive producer. Also, Bay Films is listed as one of the production companies. So, yeah, they both are in on that. But yeah, check out my written review also on this movie at Reviews and Revisits on Instagram, reviews_and_revisits. Like me up, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Lion Runner 777. I'm out with this one.